Good morning, primary students. Welcome to another Kids Time Online for Sabbath, May 16. Happy Sabbath. And maybe actually this week you're not watching it on Sabbath. You might be watching it on another day because Children's Church is also happening on Sabbath. So I hope you don't miss that. Anyways, welcome. Glad that you're here. Let's get started with our Sabbath School for May 16. We'll start with what we're thankful for. And today, I'm thankful that I got to go on a lovely long hike the other day up to Ghost Mountain to the summit. It was beautiful, and I saw so many crocuses. So if you want to see crocuses, that's the place to go. The hill is just full of them. So I'm thankful for that. You guys tell each other what you're thankful for. You probably have so many things that you're thankful for, and that's awesome. So share what you're thankful for, and then we'll have our prayer. All right. And remember, for prayers, if you have anything you need help with praying for, you're sad about something, or you're excited about something, please, you can share your prayer requests with me at 250-788-5339. I'll be happy to pray for whatever is on your mind. All right, let's bow our heads. Dear Jesus, thank you for today. Thank you for the beautiful warm sunshine, mixed with a bit of snow and rain, it seems, in the spring, but we are so thankful that spring is here. The crocuses are coming out, and thank you for each boy and girl in their homes, their families. Please be with them in a very special way today. Bless them. In your name I pray. Amen. All right. So our mission story today is really cool. It's about a guy who lives in Poland, and he's quite old now. He's 28 now. But this is a story about when he was little. He was Tom, his name is. He was a very sick 5-year-old boy in Poland. Medical doctors couldn't understand why the boy with blue eyes and black hair couldn't seem to recover from pneumonia. He coughed, suffered a fever, and complained of chest pains. Tom stayed in the hospital for a while. When he felt better, he went home. But then the cough and fever and chest pains returned, and he went back to the hospital. He was hospitalized 15 times in 1 year. A doctor took x-rays and blood tests to diagnose the illness. He gave Tom every medicine that he could think of in hope that the boy would get well. Nothing worked. Tom moved into the hospital when he was 6. He was too sick to stay at home. Father and mother prayed. They slept in the boy's hospital room. But Tom grew worse. The doctor began to avoid mother. He liked to share good news with the parents, but he didn't have any good news about Tom. Basically, he felt that Tom was going to die. But the next day, Tom felt a little better. The next day after that, he even felt better yet. In 6 days, the surprise doctor announced that he could go home. Tom was well. Tom has never been hospitalized again, but he goes to the hospital nearly every day. He is 28 and works as a pulmonary physician, that is a lung doctor, who treats people with lung problems like he used to have. When he studied to become a doctor, he saw how God saved his life. He tested his own lungs and found no scars. After such a lengthy illness, there should have been scars. It was a miracle. Tom has finished his hospital residency and thinking about becoming a missionary doctor in a faraway land. He wants to help others just like doctors and Jesus helped him. So, that is a kind of a miracle story, I think. That's a really neat mission story. And It might be kind of fun for you to check out Tom now. He's on YouTube. There's a little video of him playing a piano. It's really kind of cute. So if you want to check it out at this address here, bit.ly/THOMASZ-KARAUDA. Check it out and you can see this miracle boy as a man playing the piano for a few minutes. All right, so at home you can get out your offering jars and put in your money, saving up your Sabbath School offering for when we get back to church. You can bring it all in your jar and we'll get it to the treasurer. All right, now it's time for our lesson. So this is where I need you to find your little stuffy on the supplies here, stuffy or a little bean bag. If you have a bean bag from a bean bag toss, you can use that, but a little stuffy will work. I want you to, with those that are watching it with you this morning, I want you to sit in a circle, and what you're going to do is throw that little bean bag to someone in your circle, and when they catch it, they have to name an animal, all right? And then once they named an animal, then they throw it to someone else, and that person names an animal. And I want you to just keep doing that. Keep throwing it back and forth to each other, everybody in your circle, until you run out of animal names, and you can't say the same animal twice. So if somebody has said kangaroo, no one else can say kangaroo. You have to think of something else, like a cheetah, or a monkey, or a snake. All right, so you do that. Take some time, throw that beanbag back and forth, see how many animals that you can name. All right, you do that now. Okay, so how many different animals were you able to name? You don't have to count, but it was probably a lot, right? Probably was pretty easy to name a lot of different animals, but sometimes under pressure we freeze and we can't remember, so maybe it was hard. But if you were comfortable and you just kept going, there were a lot of animals that you named, right? What does that tell us about how many animals there are in the world? There are a lot of animals. It could probably take us all day to name all the animals in the world. Our Bible story today is about Noah and his family and the animals in the ark. Imagine that you were there with them. What do you think it was like in the ark? That is like serious quarantine in the ark. It sure was. Kind of, sort of like our homes, but we can at least go outside, can't we? Did Noah's family have to work together? You bet they did. That's what our memory verse is about today. Work together as a team for the faith. Philippians 1:27. All right, so let's get into our story a little bit more here. Now, all right, does anybody know someone who is 600 years old? I don't either. But that's how old Noah was when the ark was finally finished. Remember last week we started talking about Noah's ark and how he and his sons made a company and built the ark as God as the master designer, right? During the years Noah and his helpers were building the ark, people were so busy doing whatever they wanted that they ignored Noah. Some weren't bad things. They got married, had children, built houses, but they also sacrificed people on altars and worshiped false gods. They disobeyed God in many ways. Finally, God had had enough. He had seen enough. God said he was going to send floodwaters. Water would cover the whole earth, and destroy every living thing. Water had never covered the whole earth. This was all new to Noah. But Noah knew God would take care of all those who chose to believe in him. Even floodwaters could not hurt those who chose to follow God. Finally, the ark was finished. And then God said, Noah, go into the ark. Take 7 of each kind of clean animal and 2 of each unclean animal. Some people may have laughed at Noah and made fun of him. Some of them stood outside the ark and listened to Noah say once more, come into the ark. You will be safe inside. All right. I am just going to pause the video before it stops, and I'll be right back. Okay, I didn't want it to stop on me just in the middle of our show here, so got it going again. So, where were we? Yes, the ark was finally finished. And suddenly, there was a sound of rushing wind, and thousands of birds came flying into the ark from the forest. 2 of every kind of unclean bird and 7 pairs of each clean bird came in an orderly fashion. The birds flew in past the door and disappeared right into the ark. I imagine the laughing stopped when they saw wild animals coming from everywhere. Lions and elephants and giraffes and bears, snakes and butterflies, kittens and armadillos, wombats and kangaroos, every kind of animal that God had made went into the ark. So I want you guys at home now to help me out. What's this? You see this? All right, I want you to kind of walk like an elephant, swinging that big old trunk just like the elephant did. There's 2 elephants. Here they come. I only have 2 of each animal. Some of them should be 7, but I only have 2. So walk like an elephant into that ark. All right, now here's some zebras. Can you at home gallop like a zebra would? Gallop right into that ark. All right. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, these are little lambs, aren't they? How about making a sound like a lamb? What does a lamb say? All right. Be nice and loud so everybody in your house hears you making your little lamb sound. Oh, and now I have some wolves. How about some howling? Can you howl like a wolf as that wolf goes into our ark? Good job. And how about this? Kangaroo. Get your hopping legs ready and just hop like a kangaroo would right into the ark. Good. And now, these are alligators or crocodiles. And get down right on your tummies. Let your bellies drag on the floor and crawl across your living room floor and pretend you're going into the big ark. And our last animal this morning, what's this? A camel. I don't quite know what a camel sounds like. And I imagine a camel walks just pretty regularly. But maybe you can pretend that one of you is a camel and one of you is a rider, because a lot of people used camels for riding, so they didn't have to walk. So maybe you can crawl carefully on the back of your big brother or sister, and they can take you for a ride as you pretend to go into the ark. All right? So our animals are all in the ark now. One last time, Noah invited the people to come, but they didn't come. Some of the workers probably almost decided to go into the ark, but their friends probably talked them out of it. So Noah and his wife and his 3 sons and their wives went into the ark. The big door creaked, then closed with a loud thump. No hand had touched the door, not like my hand closing this door. No hand touched the door of the ark. Noah hadn't closed it. His sons hadn't closed it. Who do you think closed the door? That's right, God did. For 8 days, Noah and his family waited inside that hot and stuffy ark. The people outside probably laughed and made fun of them. But finally, water began to fall from the sky. You hear my water? Began to fall. The floodwaters washed over the earth. Lots of water. And there was lightning. Lightning and rain. And there was thunder. There was thunder. Boom. Wow. That was loud. Fountains of water shot up out of the ground. Stones and trees probably flew everywhere. Some people probably held on to the outside of the ark and tried to get in. But it was no use. In that horrible storm, which lasted 40 days, almost 6 weeks, that is just about as long as we have been in quarantine. Everyone and every living thing outside the ark died. As the great ark was lifted up by the waters, the ark rocked from side to side. It must have been a great relief when the storm calmed down and the ark floated quietly on the water. It would have been so quiet and peaceful. While Noah and his family were inside the ark for months, they had a lot of work to do. Imagine what a mess all those animals made. Pens and stalls needed to be cleaned. The animals needed food and clean water. The ark was a giant floating zoo with only 8 workers. The family members worked together efficiently. They did it cheerfully, thankful to be alive and cared for by God. All right, some questions. How did those animals get into that boat? If you said that they were guided there by angels, you are right. The angels took the animals into the ark where they would be safe. What would you have thought when the animals came to the ark? That would have been quite something. I can just imagine lining up to get into a zoo, and suddenly the gates open of the zoo, and all the animals in the zoo in an orderly fashion by themselves come walking past me out of the gates of the zoo. That would be quite a sight to see, wouldn't it? Yeah. God was definitely in charge, wasn't he? What do you think Noah and his family did to help each other and the animals during the storm? Well, they all had their chores, and they all did their chores, didn't they? And they worked together. They knew what they had to do, and they worked together. The Bible, says to us how important it is for us to work together as a team for the faith. And Noah and his family did that. People in God's family work together. All right, I've written our memory verse up here on the board today. And I want us to learn it together. So let's say it together. Work together as a team for the faith. Philippians 1:27. Now I'm going to take out a couple words, and we'll see if we can still say it. Work together as a team for the faith. Philippians 1:27. Oh, that was pretty easy. All right, let's take out another couple words. Okay, let's try it at home. You try it. Work together as a team for the faith. Philippians 1:27. All right, I'm going to take out another couple words. Okay, you try to say this at home now. I'm not going to help you. Philippians 1:27. Did you do it? Good. Okay, I'm going to erase the last two words. And let's see if we have it. Work together as a team for the faith. Philippians 1:27. Did you get that? Awesome. You guys are amazing. All right, that is our memory verse. And I just have a couple little scenarios for you. I'm just going to tell you what they are, and then you can talk about them. You can shut the video off, talk about them, turn it back on, and hear the next one, okay? You have been invited to your friend's house. Her room is a mess. Her mother says you can't play until your friend cleans her room. What do you do? Why? Talk about it. All right, scenario number 2. You and your brother have begged for a pet. Your parents keep saying no, but you keep begging. Finally, they let you get a cat. As a family, you have to decide who is going to clean the litter box every day. What do you decide? Discuss. All right, scenario number 3. Someone told you that the father of someone in your class has died. Your classmate hasn't been to school in 2 days. What will you and your other classmates do? Talk about that. All right. You probably had some amazing ideas about how you could work together in each of those scenarios to do something for the good. When we work together, whose love are we demonstrating? We are showing our love for God, and we are demonstrating God's love to other people. Okay, the last thing for today is you are going to draw an arc on your paper. Can you see my arc? Okay, I just have a couple minutes left, so at home you are going to draw an arc on your paper and write on it something that you are going to do working together with your family this week, okay? You think you can do that? Think of something that you can do this week together with others in God's family and write it on this arc. I wrote clean up garbage on a trail. So sometimes I go for walks with my family close to my house and we can clean up garbage that we see on that trail. So to draw this arc, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is kind of draw a semicircle like that, okay? Good. And then you just make a line all the way across, and then 2 lines on top, and then you can draw a roof like that. I made my roof a little fancier. I just made kind of 2 lines there. You can draw your arc, write on it what you're going to do to work as a team this week, and then you can cut it out and put it up on your fridge to remind you. All right? So I hope you have a wonderful week. Let's just bow our heads for a closing prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for Sabbath. Thank you for the lessons in the Bible that we can learn from. And God, please help each person, each child watching to find ways this week that they can work together for you. We love you and we thank you for loving us. Amen. All right, see you next week.